I want to talk about what we've seen in tech, as we start to sort of look back and start to look forward.
Yep.
And you know, you do some good detailed work and some big think stuff too. What do you make of what's going on the cloud as it relates to pure storage?
Well, it's a phenomenal growth opportunity. If you look at it, Amazon's storing 1.3 trillion objects in the cloud. It's unbelievable. But there are some deflationary trends as well that we have to be cognizant of. So I think ultimately, you know, it's...
But deflationary for whom? Because Amazon's, you know, unbelievably slashing prices. Were you at the event in Las Vegas?
We did listen to the webcast.
Because you guys were writing about it while I was there, and you were sort of capturing these big ideas with this thing, like cutting prices, working at no margin, keeping anyone else away from the business, probably.
If you think about it, Corey, you look at the incumbents, you know, so you've got the Ciscos, you've got the Dells, you've got the HPs of the world. All these guys are seeing deflationary pressure because of basically what Amazon and others are doing. So they're taking technology away from these guys from a proprietary perspective. Amazon is essentially taking commodity off-the-shelf products, you know, NFS, network file systems, taking JBODs, just a bunch of disks, putting it all together, and these trends, they're driving down prices materially. So we've seen consumers migrate to that very rapidly, and now once the reliability comes up, SLA, service level agreements, start to rise, then it becomes more enterprise ready, and we're going to start to see enterprises migrate more to the cloud going forward.
The way I think of it is that you've got guys like Dell and Hewlett Packard and EMC, not EMC so much, but you've got these guys going to big companies saying, you need to build a data center, I'm going to sell you all the equipment for a data center. And now the companies have the ability, principally through Amazon and to a lesser degree Rackspace and others, the companies have the ability to say, you know what, I don't need to build it, I can rent it whenever I need it from Amazon at a much lower cost, meaning the overall market will be smaller.
That's right. And now what we've seen from companies that are the big IT service vendors, that's an $850 billion annual market. It's huge. There's negative trends that are impacting the IT service guys today. Number one is insourcing. So we're seeing large companies like General Motors say, hey, you know, HP, I don't need your service group as much as I once did. I'm going to do more stuff internally with my own private cloud. And then number two is actually outsourcing. So what we're seeing is companies migrate to Salesforce.com, Workday, guys like that, more applications in the cloud from a SaaS, software as a service business model. So I think those trends are starting to perk up and probably going to accelerate going forward.
On a much smaller scale, I did a story about a company right over here in Emeryville, right across the water behind John's, that lovely shot over John's shoulder. And they do visual special effects for movies. They did the movie Flight. They did the most recent Transformers movie. And I walked through the studio where they've got all these artists working on all these graphics and animations. And I walked to the back where you expect to see a bunch of servers humming along. Sure. And there's a coffee maker. And there's like, you know, little things with creamer and sugar. There's no servers because Amazon's doing all the work. Imagine if General Motors is doing it. If General Motors could spend their time making cars and designing cars and not having to run a data server farm.
We estimate that the cloud service model today represents about 20% of the total servers that are sold out there. So, you know, still we're making good penetration, but we've got a long ways to go before it's the majority of the market. But yeah, clearly most of the startups today in the Valley, they're not having their own data centers, they're not having their own wiring closets, they're really migrating their IT services to the cloud. Platform as a service, infrastructure as a service, software as a service. So I think Amazon really pioneered the concept of cloud computing in 2006, and they're really driving it hard.
Yeah, we'll see if anyone else can handle Amazon's crummy margins and come as a competitor. Brian Marshall, really appreciate your time. Thanks a lot. John?